Hello everyone and welcome back. We're here for the back nine of the third round at the 2017 United States Women's Disc Golf Championships taking place at Harmon Hills with Vanessa Van Dyken, Sarah Hokom, Rebecca Cox, and Valarie Jenkins. And this weekend's coverage is provided by MVP Discs along with the PDGA. Thank you for the support. It is moving day, as we say, looking to see if any of these women on the chase card can push themselves to the lead card for the fourth and final day, which will take place over at Pine Oaks. We've got Val Jenkins on the tee for hole number 10, which measures in at 601 feet. And you're trying to get as much distance off the tee as you can here. That'll make your approach shot just a little bit easier. If you can get up to the level area of that hilltop, that would be ideal. As you see Hokom's forehand coming up short of the hilltop. Rebecca Cox of Discraft sporting the hot pink Discraft shades. The temperatures are hot out here. It's late September. However, it's pushing 90 degrees or maybe a little more. And pushing out a great drive there is Vanessa Van Dyken. Rebecca's still got a long uphill shot here. And it's got some great carry, the pin on that right side. Vanessa's looking to get a little tricky here. She's going to bust out a roller. And that's not the first time we've seen her throw one. Very impressive roller with the uphill slant. That's what makes this approach shot so difficult, is really that uphill walk up or run up that you have. It's very easy to overcompensate and possibly release with the nose of the disc up in the air a little bit when you're looking at an uphill run up. Solid forehand there by Sarah Hokom. We see that Rebecca is short. She's going to have a pitch up toward the basket. Val on that far left side. No throw-in magic here on hole 10. She's played very solid here during this opening 9. Oh, and just over the basket is a great looking run. Hokom's got a long jumper. Oh yeah, all day. She said she'll take it. Solid birdie by Sarah Hokom to open up this back 9. Vanessa will clean up for the par 4. Rebecca and Val hoping to do the same. Virtually no wind on the course. I've said that a number of times throughout a few different rounds. Very pleasant conditions with the exception of extreme heat. Let's move over to 11. We see both Hokom and Val Jenkins 2 down for this round. They're playing to hole 11, 307 feet, plays much less than that as it slopes downhill for the last 70 or 80 feet. And you just can't turn it over too much. Looks like Val's done just that. Cox on the far left side. She might have a little bit of obstacle to contend with on that left side. And Vanessa looks like she's pured the gap, exactly what she was looking for. And that is a very challenging approach. Val made it look easy, but angle of release and the angle in which it hits the ground are so crucial there. Looks like Rebecca was trying to play it off the tree. Well, if she wasn't, she certainly did. And there's not much that Vanessa can do there except for lay it up. That's definitely the smart play. And Hokom finds herself beneath the basket, so she's going to be able to run this uphill. She has to straddle out. She made a long jumper just the previous hole. And I think she's dialed in. Short there, but right on line. Little tester for Rebecca here. How does that? I'm not sure which way the basket gravity. I don't know, but Rebecca's going to run off with her par. Vanessa has, I'll call that easy cleanup here. And even easier will be Val and Hokom. They'll be able to both tap in. Looks like we're going to have 4 pars here on hole 11. No harm, no foul. Oh, you forgot something. Sarah Hokom with the honors here, 493 feet. And that seems to hit the gap perfectly. And the spotter, is he barking like a seal? Maybe he was applauding. Later, the spotter will actually say that that was the single best drive he's seen all weekend. And Val keeping it nice and low, pushing that left side. There's an enormous ditch right near where that spotter is. So you want to play it exactly where you just saw Rebecca play it, where we also saw Valarie, and even further up was in fact Hokom's. But you want to play to that left side. If you find yourself in the ditch, you're going to have a little extra work to do. And Vanessa, super conservative. Oh, there's Alyssa Van Lannen. Make sure you check out her photos. She's been all over the country this year. She's got some great photos posted. I wanted to make sure to get a little shot in there of Alyssa. Val's got a standstill and a very nice approach shot. As you can see, there's some rocks in her run up there. And then catches a tree. Hokom's got a very simple approach, but yeah, trying to make it a little bit harder than it is there, Sarah. Vanessa's banking off trees. Just short for Rebecca. I believe that's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen her hit off the front of the basket from all different ranges. It's become a very long day out here. Vanessa comes up just a bit short. This is Hokom for what would be a birdie 3. Count it. She had to work a little harder than she planned on after such a great drive, but she'll walk away with the 3. Val Jenkins lining up from approximately 18 feet. And a little known fact, Val Jenkins has never missed a putt in her professional career inside 20 feet. Can't fact check that anywhere. I might have made it up, but I'd almost put money on it. She's that good inside 20. Never missed a putt. Looks like Val and Hokom are going stroke for stroke here and getting a little tricky. Putting that on edge, going with a forehand roller. This is 320 feet and almost plays like a horseshoe in that it goes out, left, and then back up. Maybe like a slightly out of shape horseshoe. Not quite hitting the gap she needed to. What? Another forehand? Did anybody remember the count from the front 9? I think we were at 2. That makes for 3 in a round. Very impressive. And there's the basket, again, tucked way up there. And yet again, the spotter here said this is one of the nicest drives they've seen by any player this weekend. Looks like that tree's grown some legs. Oh, okay, there it is. We see Rebecca throwing from behind the tree. Solid approach shot by Val. She's going to try and walk away with a par. Rebecca, what did I say on the last hole? You need to get it up just a little bit higher. And look at that. That's another birdie by Hokom. She's going to separate herself a little bit further from the rest of the group here. She also has one stroke better than Val does during this round. Sometimes I wonder if Rebecca's a little more comfortable at the 25 to 35 foot range than she is inside 20 feet. Moving over to hole 14, 384 feet. The hole plays up and to the left. If you're playing straight off the tee, I would say it's at about the 10 o'clock position, perched on top of a hillside. And Val's, come on, Val, we can't see the shot that way. It looks like she's got a good shot, though. Off to the left, righty backhand player just needs it to hyzer out. And that looks to be doing just fine. Kept it tight to that left side. And after watching Vanessa throw that shot, it dawned on me. If Josh Anthon and Steve Brinster's run-ups had a baby, you'd have Vanessa Van Dyken's run-up. She's got a little bit of a stutter step and a little bit of a hop to it. I'm not sure if there's a name for that, but Brinster and Anthon equals Van Dyken. You didn't think that math would work out today, did you? Front basket again. If Rebecca could just clean up a few more of those putts, she'd be killing it out here this round. All the women are going to move up to this perched basket on the top. I believe everyone's walking away with the same score again. Got a very challenging par 4 on deck. Sarah Hokom still without a traditional backhand drive here. She's gotten a little crazy here with a couple forehand drives or forehand rollers, but not an outright backhand. So Val's winning that contest. Again, I think Val's got 3 forehands to 0 backhands by Hokom today. This is a very unofficial contest that I made up, by the way, during the front 9. And that'll work for Vanessa. Vanessa, of course, plays for Team Prodigy, and Prodigy is the title sponsor here of this year's United States Women's Disc Golf Championships. Lead card action, all hosted over at the Prodigy YouTube page. Marty McGee and crew taking part of the lead card duties. Looks like some pretty routine approaches, except for Val is pinched up on that right side. She's got to go with her back to the hole. She's got a little bit of work to do here. This is still for birdie. Or not. Val actually had jokingly discussed how Rebecca, seriously, front basket. I feel you. I was saying that Val had talked throughout the weekend how she did not feel like her putting stroke was on. Not getting too many of those medium to long range putts to drop. And we're going to clean up here. Moving on to hole 16, one of the shorter ones on the course, coming up. And again, tricky forehand roller, pushing hard left. Hokom asking for it to sit down. And I'm not sure how she got through that little gap, but it seemed to work for her. After a lengthy discussion with her caddy and husband Nate, Val opts for the wasp and unfortunately does not make it clean.
Yeah, good shot.
However, Rebecca does. Great drive. And this is the fourth forehand by Valarie Jenkins. It's like I don't even know you anymore, Val. Easy little backhand approach there for... Oh, yes!
Yeah.
And that's why you play the game, folks. You miss the gap, just squeak it through, and then you bang the long putt. Great birdie by Vanessa Van Dyken. And Val's ready to get it tuned in next time. She whispers to me, you don't have to film those. Sorry, Val. We got to see the four-time world champ in action. Few tap-ins. We're moving on to 17. Right side. Vanessa then walks off and said, I think this hole is the devil. This hole is brutal. 573 feet with a very tight gap here off the initial drive. Up and over a mound. There's plenty of challenge. The first three women hit very early. They're going to have some work to do. And Val just blasts right on through. Great looking drive by Jenkins. That's going to set her up nicely. For quite some time, Sarah really contemplated how she was going to throw that shot. Double kick off the tree. That's going to at least advance her down the fairway. And Vanessa from the left side gets some good distance. However, there's still some action on the right she's going to have to work around. And playing from the crater-like hole that's found in the middle of this fairway. Also a very active chipmunk down there. Came running up, wanted to talk to me. And Val's in great position. And just like first round, she actually hit those rocks in the exact same spot from nearly the same lie during her previous round earlier in the morning, except for that was at the time her third throw versus this one being her second. And Vanessa just chipping on down the fairway. And Val's got a pretty open standstill. And that is a great shot. If you ever want to learn to throw a forehand, ask Sarah Hokom for a few tips. Some people sometimes ask, why do I wait a little longer on reactions, both good and bad from players. I think it's great to see just how our players handle adversity, or sometimes the excitement. You may see me hold a little bit of a longer edit on some frustrating shots, we'll say, from time to time, and I think it's great to see how our players react. All right, Rebecca, that's enough. And I have to speak to the maturity of Rebecca. Certainly, I know I'm jokingly giving her a hard time here about front basket, but she has handled herself very well for being just a few inches off. Very commendable demeanor out there on the course. I think some other players could certainly learn from that. We're going to have a few tap-ins, and we're moving on to the final hole of the third round. Val ultimately walked away with the par 4 on the previous hole. I think that shaves 2 or 3 strokes off from how she played it in the morning. And no walk in the park here on this hole 18. You want to push it out as far as you can. Val put herself in great position. And Vanessa also in pretty good position there. You just need to stay out of the rough on the right side. That's the only place where you can get into real trouble. And nice and low by Rebecca. With the basket playing up and beyond those trees. Rebecca's going to, at best, be looking at an up and down from there. During the morning round, I saw Vanessa throw a roller here, and it actually attached to the tree. It came up and hit one of those trees, maybe that one right there, and wedged itself in the bark vertically. It was one of the craziest shots I've ever seen. Nate Doss likes it. Val's got options. She can go up the gut to this right, which is a very well executed shot, or she could go out with the Anheuser, and looks like that was the great play there. Hope that you guys have been enjoying the coverage again, brought to you by the PDGA, along with MVP Discs. I'll be getting chase card action during the final round at Pine Oaks. If you've got any constructive criticisms or feedback, I'd love to hear it. Single person commentary along with the single camera coverage. Hope that you enjoyed everything I could get out there and give to you throughout this weekend. This was a little bit looser, a little bit lighter commentary. I'm not sure which style you guys like as Vanessa taps in or jams it in maybe. Just going to walk away with a par on the final hole of the day. A very long day as they played 2 rounds here at Harmon Hills. I think many of you will agree you need to get out to this course. It is gorgeous and will challenge every bit of your game. We're going to tally up some scorecards and see. Hokom put herself in great position. We'll see if she can move on to that lead card over at Pine Oaks. If so, we'll have someone else step in to the chase card. And thanks for joining for our walk at Harmon Hills.